Hello, my name is David Keith, and I'm with the Ventura County District Attorney's Office. Did you know that abuse of elders, those over 65 years of age, is a huge problem, not only here in Ventura County, but across the entire nation? Abuse can take various forms, and the webcast you are about to watch will shed light on this tragic problem and offer insights into what you can do to help prevent it from happening to your family and friends. You'll hear from two victim advocates, Pat Wood and Susie Rios, as well as Ventura County DA Greg Totten, who will outline what you need to know about this serious issue.
Pulitzer Prize-winning author Pearl Buck once wrote that the truest test of a civilization is in the way that it cares for its most helpless members. Unfortunately, criminals target the most vulnerable citizens in our community. That's why we need to work especially hard to protect those who are unquestionably at greater risk, our senior citizens. In Ventura County, 11% of our population is over the age of 65, and this number is projected to more than double by 2020. Combating elder abuse and financial exploitation is really about protecting individual freedom. When the aged are victimized, all too often they lose the financial independence and personal freedom that they most treasure. And in extreme cases, they may even lose their will to live and die prematurely. Tragically, fear and embarrassment causes many of these victims to remain silent. In other cases, physical and mental impairments prevent reporting. In an effort to combat these hidden crimes, the District Attorney's Office gives presentations to senior centers, churches, and community groups throughout Ventura County. We also employ specially trained prosecutors and investigators to handle these cases. Finally, we believe strongly in partnerships and work closely with other public agencies such as Adult Protective Services, local law enforcement, and the Area Agency on Aging. Now, what can you do to help combat these crimes against the elderly? First of all, we all have to learn to recognize the signs of abuse. If you notice changes in the behavior of an aging neighbor or family member, such as deteriorating health or personal hygiene, bruises, or a change in appearance, report what you see to your local law enforcement agency or the Adult Protective Services of Ventura County. If you are a senior citizen, there are many things that you can do to protect yourself. Keep records of your financial accounts and property that are available for examination by someone you trust. Don't leave your home unattended, and notify police when you are going to be away for a long period. Do not leave cash, jewelry, or prized possessions lying about, and never accept personal care in return for a transfer of your property unless a lawyer or another trusted person acts as a witness to that transaction. Sociologists tell us that within healthy cultures, there exists a social compact of sorts, where each generation honors the contributions of its predecessor by caring for their needs in old age. Each of you can make a difference as a part of this social compact by remembering that the best protectors are the seniors themselves, that we are a part of a community of friends and family, and that we all have a responsibility to watch and report. Together, we can help protect seniors from abuse.
Hey Pat, so we're here today to talk about an important issue, and that's elder abuse. Can you please let us know what elder abuse is?
Yes, thank you, Susie. Elder abuse is defined as anyone who is 65 years or older, but elder abuse is a complex problem, and it's complex for many reasons. There's several forms of elder abuse, types of elder abuse, and those types include physical abuse, financial abuse, neglect, and emotional and mental abuse, and I would like to talk further about that.
Can you please let us know about some of the warning signs?
Yes, the different and most frequent type of abuse that we're seeing now is financial exploitation. And some of those warning signs include where the victim's checkbook has been, the checks are out of sync. They're no longer numerical order. And someone is signing their name, so the signature is different than what is really the victim or the elder's signature. And then another type of abuse that's very frequent is the emotional and mental abuse. And that's where, when the elder is criticized quite frequently, when the elder is put down, is spoken to like they were a child, is yelled at, is screamed at, there's raging that goes on. And before you know it, the elder becomes just absolutely worthless, feeling less than. And then, of course, come the other signs that are very important, and that is neglect. Neglect is something we see quite frequently, where a caregiver is in the home, and the caregiver may decide that, well, I think I'll just not feed the elder today, or there's an enormous weight loss because of this behavior, and the elder now becomes dehydrated and suffering from malnutrition. So those things are happening as well. And then the other most frequent sign of elder abuse is physical abuse. And people know about that abuse a lot because sometimes they see that there's excessive bruising. Not just the normal bruising that the skin is thin as the elder ages, but really excessive. And there's maybe scars and burns and frequent injuries that are not reported. So those things are very real.
Well, thank you very much for that very useful information. And how big is the problem here in the nation, specifically in the county of Ventura?
Well, it's very difficult to gather the statistics in reality because the elders are reluctant to report about the problems. And why they're reluctant to report, it varies. Number one, they're afraid of having to be taken out of their home and placed in a nursing home. They're afraid of retaliation. They're fearful, and they're also shamed that this has happened to them when all their lives they have been doing well, and then all of a sudden these things have now moved forward in their life, and they're now embarrassed, and they don't want to tell anybody. So they suffer in silence.
Can you tell our viewers about some of the resources that are available for them if a family member or a neighbor or them themselves feel that they're a victim of elder abuse?
Yes, I definitely can. First of all, I'd like to talk about the Crime Victim Assistance Unit. That's where we are from. That's the unit that we work with. And in the world of elders, we absolutely are very, very cautious and careful when the elder comes into room 311 and they want, per se, a restraining order. And they have decided that it's time for them to stop the abuse. So they walk in. The most important thing that we do in the elder unit is to assess those problems and to address those issues with them. We might then refer to Adult Protective Services, or we might in fact bring law enforcement right to the District Attorney's Office Crime Victim Assistance Unit if we see bruising or whatever there might be there. So all of this is very real. We do a victim's rights. We make sure if there is a crime that has been committed in this unit, victim's rights is what we really work with so that the victim understands and their rights and can address those issues.
That's great information, Pat. Thank you. Can you please let us know more about crisis intervention and the services here through the Crime Victim Assistance Unit?
In the world of the elder, when the elder comes in, the elder may be in shock. The elder needs a definite assessment, again, as I talked about before, but that's the way we define and understand what the needs are of the victim. The victim may require special type of resources. For example, there might be a doctor's visit that might be required, or the nurse, public health nursing might be requested to go out to the house. Definitely APS if we sense that there's additional abuse going on or things that we haven't really understood the victim to say. So it's very important when we do that assessment that we are able to provide the resources and referrals and connect the victim with the agency.
We've talked about elder abuse and some of the warning signs. Can you please tell our viewers where they could go or call if they suspect that they themselves have been a victim or know a family member or a friend or a neighbor who has?
Yes, I think that's very important, and thank you for bringing that to my attention, because the elder is valuable, and what happens, they're also vulnerable. And so what happens when they're abused, and we identify that that abuse is there, the number that we should make the call to is the law enforcement, always law enforcement, and also Adult Protective Services. And the number for Adult Protective Services is 654-3200. And that number is very important to remember, and it's a number that is confidential. You're a confidential source. They will not release your name, and it's good for the elder because you're helping with preventing any additional abuse.
Pat, let's talk a little bit about isolation.
Isolation is something that even the elder may not understand it's happening. But little by little, the abuser succeeds in keeping family members away from the elder, friends away from the elder, and the elder becomes depressed, alone, and sometimes very much abused. So the reasons and the concerns that we want to always make everybody aware of is that when you identify that this may be a problem, that you do have resources out there, and those resources include APS, they include law enforcement, they include the Crime Victim Assistance Unit. Any questions that you may have, our number is 805-654-3622. That is the Crime Victim Assistance Unit. We are located in the District Attorney's Office at the Hall of Justice, room 311. And we're there to really reach out to help them.
And it's important that our viewers know that all of our resources here through the DA's office are free as far as obtaining a restraining order, and we guide them through the process.
Absolutely. Thank you for that as well. There's the Area Agency on Aging that is amazing and a wonderful resource. There's the STAR crisis team that is just amazing for behavioral health, just to name a few. And seniors sometimes don't have the right nutrition. Utilizing the Area Agency on Aging nutrition program is really wonderful. So we all have many partners in the community, and we work very well together. And I want to mention one more team that works so close. All the community agencies, or most of the government agencies, join what we call the Rapid Response Team. And that comes into play when there's a very big, complex elder problem that causes us grave concern. We might bring in the public guardian's office, we might bring in behavioral health. Whatever it is, we work together as a multidisciplinary team to address the issues of that elder with a great resolution.
It seems like the elder is greatly supported through this process. Thank you, Pat.
You're very welcome.
I hope this webcast has shed some light on this significant problem and made you more aware of the dangers facing our most treasured asset, our senior citizens. Please pay particular attention to the warning signs we highlighted in this video and call the authorities if you suspect elder abuse is taking place. And call your local police agency, the DA's office Victim Services Unit, or Adult Protective Services. With your help, we can make a difference. Stay informed, stay protected. I'm David Keith. Thanks for watching.